Okay, I've turned the game up, but did I turn it up too much? Let me know as we get things rolling. In the meantime, we've got our 4 white mages. We just finished getting the rod from, what is it, Sarda? But now it's time to go have the only boss fight in the game that we're actually well suited for. And then it's all downhill from here, folks. But things might get easier once we start getting equipment that can cast Black Mage spells. Until then, though, it'll be... We're gonna beat up... Lich with lots of harm spells, and that's about it. Hey, Goblin Junkbot, thank you for the 7 biddies. Sorry to say that your internet has been going out temporarily several times today. But you know, it's good to see you just the same. I'm glad that you're trying to work through the trouble. Chat's never the same without you. Oh hey, my drink's invisible too. Isn't that great? And my knuckles and my whatever. Alright though, but that propels you even further into second place with 655 biddies, and Magnus is still king of the hill at 666, which is a number I'm sure has no significance whatsoever, especially not in October. Meanwhile, our ghosts are trying to trick or treat here. And we've come across another party of candy grabbers. But the competition is easily dispatched. Hey, come on guys, you're making this easy. It's okay, keep making it easy. Make it easy all the way to the end of the game. Like I said, this is the only part of the game that a White Mage party is unusually well prepared for. Ah, Magnus, thank you very much for the subscription. It's been 2 months already. One of our proud founders, Magnus Sturtson. Alright, so I need to come to your stream at some point so I can, ooh. This might be a little dicey, but let's have it a go. Yeah, I've got to come to your stream sometime, Magnus, and, you know, actually, announce my resub. I mean, you get the money either way, so that's fine. That's just not the same. You gotta celebrating it. Look, whether you show up for the rest of the month or not, Magnus, we've got your second month subscription. I mean, I know it's bad accounting to recognize the revenue before it's been earned, but we're not accountants here. Okay, one member of Damage Control is into accounting, but they're not in the chat, so it's still true. Yeah, we're not doing this one. Okay. Let's roll. Whoop. We're probably going to hit some extra encounters, oh well. All part of the fun.
And you can count on me, waiting for you in the parking lot, shooter.
Yeah, I gotta try fleeing more often because it's just boring to slog through all of these fights. On the other hand, I need the XP, and they're not really dealing that much damage to me anymore. Alright, next set of gargoyles I'll fight. Yeah, so we've got a big decision coming up later. So, after we clear out the Earth Cave, we go over to Crescent Lake and get the canoe. Now, with the canoe, there are 3 new locations that open up. 3 dungeons that we can tackle, all of which we are extremely underpowered for, in different and fantastic ways. So, well, I mean, I can get the rat tail from the Castle of Ordeals, and the boss in there is a zombie dragon, so my magic's actually effective against them. But I won't be able to cash in the rat tail until after I get the airship, which is Ice Cave. Now, if I do Ice Cave, that opens up the whole rest of the world at that point. Alright, don't make me cast Poisona 30 times. But Magnus definitely seems big on Castle Ordeals, and I don't see anybody else making suggestions. The third option, of course, is the intended path, which is to go to the volcano and fight... oh, I forget what her real name is, but like in the NES version they called her Carrie. It's like Malabranth or something. Oh, there were tons of wolves in the Ice Cave. There are tons of frost wolves that cast area of effect spells. Like, you can run into like up to 9 of them at once. It's probably a guaranteed party wipe if they get a preemptive strike on me. But Ice Cave is definitely the meme location, you're right there. And it's full of all sorts of nasty monsters, a few inescapable encounters. It's a long, difficult dungeon, even for a regular party. And it has plenty of enemies that either cast death or cause it as an added effect on their attack. Alright, I suppose Clyde needs a heal here. Alright, who's got the most MP? That is also Clyde. Let's see here. 3, 10. Alright, let's see. He's at 133. Alright, so that gave me 120. So, next time we're gonna do a Cura and see if that deals more than 120 healing to me. Because you're damn right we're min-maxing this. Because I remember in Final Fantasy VI, you actually, yikes, you actually wanted to use the lowest level cure spells if you were trying to conserve your NP. Okay, this is bad. Get out of there. I could have had double blink instead of not escaping. Alright, I guess we gotta fight it out, guys. Goodbye, Clyde. Yeah, this is where the no speed gets me in trouble. Yep, I am definitely getting Pac-Man handled here. Oh, they're typically laser focused on the first person in the lineup, which is why you usually put a fighter there. Usually. But yes, the likelihood that somebody is targeted by an enemy is just, you know, their position in the lineup. Yeah, I was wondering how the heck we were one-cycling all of the other ones. That's more realistic. Okay, so who's got the MP? That's gonna be... Let's see if we can get the XP at least. Booyah! Oh hey, Inky got a level, but not Clyde. Okay, the math will be real easy on this one. Alright, that was worse healing. Alright. Get everybody back above 200. And we continue. That sucked. Come on. Alright, beatdown time. Oh, Blinky is really unlucky there. Ooh, critical hit the one that was about to die anyway. Useful. Ah, of course he gets the first attack. That much extra healing to do. Okay. Come on. Let's at least get down to a new floor before all this other crap keeps happening. Whew. Hydrate and stretch. Ah. You're asking for an awful lot from me. Okay. Now that you can see it, that's not where the camera is. We need to add a kitty cam option for you guys, at least for when I stream. Because we got Grover right here. Yeah, I get that there's not a lot of options with the points, but with me working multiple 13-hour days and doing grad school, that's not really a priority right now. Maybe Angela can come up with something more. All right. Finally, something that works for me. Oh no! Well, actually 27 was decent. Alright, so if I remember correctly, there's 2 treasure rooms on the 4th floor and bugger all in the basement, so... Let's see... Okay, here's the first one. Money. A regular staff. Oh boy. They got me. Oh, a sphinx, not an earth. Oh, they hurt. We might want to blink up on this one. Doing decent damage for a change. You know what? Have at. Oh yeah, and then the double hits dry up. And a miss! Oh boy. It's okay. We can tank a 73 damage hit. And now we can't. Okay. Goodbye. Again. God! Oh, that's what I get for being daring. Shields up! There is never enough talk. Maybe this round? Definitely not this round. Dear God. Goodbye. Sorry, Clyde. You missed out. Hey, Blinky got a level. And not a lot of gil for my trouble there. Okay, who's got the MP? Blinky has got the MP. Next up is Inky. Alright, now probably to get attacked again here. This is where I should have gone the first time, but okay, one of them's much more manageable. Yeah, what's with all these misses, Clyde? These guys are definitely out of my league. But at least they can whiff on their hits too. Ooh, a troll. Let's beat him up. Alright, now let's get to the other treasure room and get to the boss before I heal too much. Oh, they get a free attack, yay. Well, Sphinxes might have higher evasion, but also if there's a disparity in levels, your 2-hit just drops like a rock. I know nobody asked for a hydrate, but I'm enjoying my drink. Alright, you're up, Pinky. Whoa! Let's get out of here. Alright, where are you? Treasure room. Ambushed again by these wraiths. That's okay, I can get through these very easily. Ah, silver! 75 biddies. Unfortunately, I think that still leaves you in 4th place. Don't you want to get more? Look, I mean, I am listed in the top 3. That's just silly. Alright, level up for Pinky, but not for Paralysis. Oh, man. Oh, another 100! Demon Silver Husky pulls into 3rd place with 345 total biddies. We are happy. Somebody ban Dio, please. Don't you put that whammy on us, Dio. Yeah, Silver is giving money to herself, and the funny thing is, I don't think she gets to keep it all. It's like the absolute least... I mean, like, all of us who are part of the blog should just, like, PayPal Silver directly instead of, like, bidding and subbing. But for some reason, this is more fun. And with 2 trolls, let's get some blinks going. Hold on, you get 100% of the bits that are donated, yes, but they're worth less than what you pay for to buy them. Yep. I don't think Silver's done 175 bits worth of ads lately. So I'm assuming that she bought them. Alright, is Clyde going down again? Ooh, could be close. We answer right back with 2 crits. Alright, if you live long enough to do that, Clyde, please. Better experience and less danger than the Sphinx, I think. Okay. Oh, Clyde's still the top dog there. Well, if I keep getting beat up, I'm gonna have to switch over to potions so I have some NP left for the boss fight. Not a Sphinx. Alright. Just have to kill the hyenas before they start using their AoE spells. Actually, not spells, skills, so I can't even silence them. I think the Ogre Mage only knows a buff. So they won't attack us with magic. You give bits to other streamers? I thought I was the only one. Hey, Clyde, leveled up. And we got a tent. And a mithril shield, that'll do a lot of nothing. And Gil. Key! Alright, Bat. We've had good Bat RNG so far. But now the Bat's trying to force me to walk on an encounter tile, and I am just not playing that game. Okay, Cavern of Earth. You know what, I'm gonna cheat here. I'm gonna consult the map, make sure I'm not missing anything. Because I don't want to come all the way back down here. Yes, I was correct. Beeline for the boss. Oh boy. I found the Minotaur. He won't be wandering the maze anymore. Mazes and Minotaurs. The, discount Dungeons and Dragons. Alright, just you try and... Oh, dear God. Thank you for working with me, Troll. Yikes. Right. Alright, so Lich's physical attack, if I remember correctly, doesn't hit hard. Carries could wipe me, though. And most importantly, this version of Lich doesn't know Nuke. We'll be coming up against that later. I was saying earlier that, this shirt might come in handy if I ever decide to stream Star Fox. Wait, hang on. Give me just 1 second here. This is the arts and crafts section of our show. In case I ever decide to stream Star Fox. Well, there you go, Magnus. This is proof that Final Fantasy II was supposed to be an improvement. Okay. Who can we top off? And let's see here. Inky's got more HP, so Inky goes first. Who speaks to me? We came through a time portal. I am he who feeds on the power of Earth. I will not be disturbed by mortal men. I am the Lich, fiend of Earth. Here comes some Dia guy your way. Whoops. Didn't mean to defend. Oof. I forgot he knew that. We're gonna have to throw up some null ice. Let's see here. You know what? We'll do the full null here. Do you have... You've got the null frost. Give me a healer. Do you have... Anybody got null fire? Don't think so. Null shock. Oh, there's null blaze. Just in case he's got other surprises for me. Oh, there goes my null ice. Don't use blink. That's okay, that wasn't part of the strategy for this one anyway. Because he's gonna hit me with mostly magic. And I'm gonna hit him with mostly magic. Haste only helps him if he lands a physical attack, so... Okay, well... There, got the Null Frost up before he hit me with Blizzara again. Alright, let's see if I have enough gas left in the tank to take this home. Yep. Alright, so you're low, you can get me one more. Had enough. You were waiting 2 weeks for this and you use it in the wrong fight. You want to screw me over? Wait for the fiend to fire. I mean, I know that we should, like, change up the fanfare, but it's too good for this. We're not changing it. Not for a bit. Next game. We'll go back to randomizing it. And now the Earth bonus dungeon is open. But we're not going there. Away! Save, 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 save. I mean, the Bravely Default fanfare sounds kind of that long. At least the file that we're using. Hey, Blinky! New level. And boy, you didn't get much to show for it. Okay, first things first. 3 of them should be enough to, just gotta make it back to town. I mean, I suppose I could use my cabin, but... eh. Why would I want to make things easy on myself? But you see, if you ban saving, Magnus... I mean, first off... remember, it's only a 5-minute ban. But... if we do lose progress... then... you're only punishing yourself because this has taken long enough as it is, you know? I mean, you might be especially unlucky and ban saving at a point where I'm just dying anyway. So, it sounds good on paper, but is it practical? Like, is it better than sabotaging me in a fight? And if one of you gets snarky and says ban magic, I'm just going to sit here and wait 5 minutes. Alrighty. So first things first, we gotta get the canoe, and then it's decision time. What fool's errand do I attempt? Okay, well, let's see what happens then. One ban action left. I mean, better you guys do this to me on the overworld. Yeah, well, I mean, we're nowhere close to a dungeon. It's a lot easier to go magicless in the overworld because if I need to heal, I can pop a tent. And plus, there's nothing particularly deadly right here. Oh, well, I can't watch the clip yet, so what happened to you last week, Silver? What terrible, horrible thing that I should remember and do to you tomorrow? Well, I get that, but the context of the conversation seemed to indicate that there was a particularly good ban action for that game. It was like, what is it, clicking? You couldn't click for 5 minutes? Or did you have to stay in the classroom all weekend? Yes, accidentally. Okay. Let's see here. To minimize the need for healing, we'll adjust our formation. Oh, and you hit Clyde anyway. Screw you. Vanhammer's coming down, troll. The mithril Vanhammer. We got this. Might get attacked just once more before getting to town. And I've just got to hang in there for another 2 minutes. We're doing good so far. And now we're in town. Welcome to Scenic Crescent Lake. I am Lucan. I see a cycle of wrath, a dim light, guided by destiny, that about which our entire future revolves. In case you missed it, he was the guy who left Cornelia in order to... Yeah, that's why I'm doing the Andros thing, because of Cornelia, right? And he came here to the Circle of Sages, and I've done the Final Fantasy I randomizer so many times now that I'm not used to them just not wandering around. It's nice to see them in formation.
Well done, warriors of light. You have defeated the Fiend of Earth and restored the crystal's light. Sadly, this has drawn the notice of the Fiend of Fire, who was not to have stood for another 200 years. Take this canoe, which is probably easily flammable now that I think about it, and go face the Fiend at Mount Gulag.
Alrighty. Hopefully it's not a tippy canoe. I'm not sure banning the town constitutes banning an action. Alright guys, decision time. Do we go with Terra's party and travel down the river? Do we follow Sabin, who was washed away? Or do we see how Loke, who's behind enemy lines, is handling things? Yeah, wait until I'm in the middle of a dungeon and ban going to the inn. Okay, so that's the river. So let's see, what's going to be... So what's going to be the equivalence here? So, because there's like two locations we use the river to go to, the mountain and the, well, I guess the mountain's going to be the analog for the Figaro Cave, so that's Locke. The faraway land is Castle Ordeals, obviously, so that's Sabin, which means Bannon is the Ice Cave, because, you know, that's, you know, Narsh is cold. Is it Narsh or Narshe? Questions for later. Alright, so a vote for Bannon is a vote for the Ice Cave. And a vote for Locke is a vote for Mount Gulag. And a vote for Sabin is a vote for Castle Ordeals. Okay. So Magnus's Bannon party first. Dio concurs. And, like, Silver's hunting. Possibly me in the Ice Cave, if that's where we're going. Does anybody else want to chime in and possibly save my life? I mean, I'm probably going to die no matter where I go. Somebody ban dying. First use of the canoe, instant battle. You know, I'm good. Oh man, 3 for Ice Cave. Lurkers, save me. Vote for something else. Nope, that's the wrong way. That's also the wrong way. Ah! Hang on here. Yes, give me an enlarged map. Oh, that's right. I have to, I can't use this river system to get there, I think. Because that doesn't connect, so yeah, I gotta go back to the ship first. Not dealing with you, Croc. Oh, dear God. Goodbye, Blinky. See, it wasn't Clyde. It was the first rank. Of course, now Pinky's first. Well, I mean, if you... Well, Magnus, if you had to, like, you know, assign the metaphor here, what would you have made Bannon? I mean, Bannon does go to the ice cave after all. Give me that sweet, sweet XP. Give somebody a level, please. Stop beating up Blinky, please. I need as many HP as you can give me, because I know you're not going to give me defense. Alright. Way to go, Pinky. So who's got the most MP? That's Clyde. And of course, so if we somehow get through the ice cave, and I think we might have to, like, save Scum it just for the sake of progress. But we'll see. Probably restrict myself to just saving when we change floors. I am not messing around with you guys. I just want to get to the cave. There or here? No white croc. Yep. And another you just saw out of the corner of your eye. For a split second, the entrance to another one of the bonus dungeons. It, of course, is not unlocked. Alrighty. Almost there. It's just giving me a taste of the animal life I'm going to find inside. It's foreshadowing, you know. I don't even need to dip into the magic for this one. Alright, so let's... Well, at least hit a sleeping bag. Maybe we'll come out for more MP later. Maybe. You know, if this turns into something ill-advised. I mean, it's going to. Don't get me wrong. Alright, let's try this vanilla once and see how far we can get. Alright, I don't have much in the way of curing petrification, so let's not stick around with those cockatrices. Let's not stick around with those cockatrices. Yeah, they got 3 chances right there. Yikes. Alright, go, go, go. This is where the sorcerers show up and they can kill in a single hit. But not today. But there's something weird in your ice cave. Who you gonna call? New level for Clyde. What is everybody at? Everybody's at 21. Oh yeah, well the cockatrices can turn me into stone as an added effect on just a regular physical attack. But there are other enemies that just kill me outright, so, you know. It's a thing. That was the best possible encounter to get on that floor. Okay. Alright, don't want to step on the cracks. I will... The mother's back I break may be my own. Preemptive? Good! Get out of there. Oh, the weakest armor in the game. That was worth it. That's right, I remember the items in here are pretty shabby. Oh yeah, take them down. Yep, so the specters are one of the hardest hitting enemies in this dungeon, and I'm surprised they're not doing more damage to me, but I am going to take advantage and just get some easy wins here. Oh, I'm sorry, I must have been behind on the chat. I have been told not to flee. We will start the timer now. And here's a forced encounter, so I may be regretting that. Oh, lucky! How have I not been ambushed by frost wolves yet? I do not know. I just absolutely do not know. You were expecting cure spells, but it was me, Dia. Alright, let's change up that formation a little. Alright, now to take a bunch of damage floors. Ice spikes. Okay, so I'm about to hit a frost dragon, I think. Hang on a second. So I believe they have the blizzard skill. No, Ice Storm is what they call it. Oh, that hit felt whitey. Oh no, more than 30 seconds until I'm allowed to flee because we started late. Ice armor, which I can't use. Mithril gloves, which I can't use. Please just be one dragon. Thank you. Alright, let's hit that Null Frost again. Ooh. Incidentally, everybody, Dio's admitting to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Hey, alright. Happy level up, Inky. Alright, Inky's got the MP. And now heal again. Familiar with it. You mean to tell me that you have not once settled your differences with the oh dear god? Nice. Nope, nope, nope. We're waiting it out. Sorry, guys. Do you mean to tell me that you have not once ever settled your differences with another individual with a children's card game? Nope, my mind is not getting flayed. Well, it is because they won't, like, run on the first turn, probably. Yeah, now... Alright. Okay. Time's up. I'm getting out of here. Oh, thank God. Yeah, you see, those are the enemies that have a chance to kill you with each physical hit. They don't do a lot of damage, but they don't need to. Alright, is the door up here? No, it's down there. No, this is a wrong turn. Oh, come on. No Mind Flayer. Oh. Alright, that's better than physically attacking, I guess. Get out of there. Come on, Blinky! Alright. I am highly unlikely to get out of here. So we gotta make ourselves unhittable. I am extremely lucky right now. Okay, now run! No more mind flares. Thank you. Oh no, you got my Milfrost. I need to conserve you. No wolves so far. I mean, if I encounter a pack of frost wolves, that's going to be a run killer. And remember, I have to go through this particular level a second time. Because this is the meanest dungeon in the game. Gold, 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 gold. Forced encounter. Preemptive! Ho, 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 ho. See ya! Just a bunch of money. You can't take it with you. Oh, ooh, 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 okay. We'll stick around for this one. Now, eating 4 basically ice 3s in a row is not my idea of a good time. Hey, if fleeing is weak, call me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, weak. Hey, you're too late with the correction, Magnus. I've already mocked your spelling. Oh man, I might actually pull this off in a single sequence here. Alright. Time for something to, like, utterly destroy me. Getting a little low on that magic. Okay. Chest 1. Chest 2. It's nice to have that ether. Alright. So we're back on the first floor, so I don't think we actually encounter winter wolves here. Oh, jeez. Can't believe they had us fight these in the marsh cave. Alright. You have... Nope, these are both my Kiragas. Alright, blink away. If one of you lives, that's enough to get through this fight. Yeah, I guess the double blink was sufficient. Alright, go to town, boys. Yeah, could you imagine watching me slog through the original version? Can you imagine for just a moment? Doing this with spell charges, and all of the buffs bugged. Critical hits not working correctly. Like, these weapons would never be critting in the NES version. And for those of you not aware, in the NES version of Final Fantasy, by mistake, the critical hit formula doesn't look at the critical chance stat for the weapon, but rather it looks for its position in the weapon table. So for some weapons, like the Masamune, that meant that you know, it worked as intended, actually, because it was the final item in the table, and it was intended to have the highest crit rate. So all was not lost, but one of the advantages that the ninja was supposed to have is that the weapons they used were supposed to have abnormally high crit rates, and it just didn't work out because all of the other later game weapons, you know, just critted anyway. Alrighty, so the Evil Eye. Evil Eye has magic. So, Null Frost. Do you have Null Fire? No. Do you have Silence? Yes, but you also have Null Shock. Okay, no Null Fire, so Silence. No Blaze. And of course it has a Death Spell, so it's all moot if he pops too many of those off. But this is a point where speedrunners would actually trigger this fight multiple times just for the XP. We're not gonna do that. Oh, it worked! And its attack power isn't that bad, but I guess I could have spared myself casting all of those nulls. Oh, gaze is a skill, and... Good. It didn't do a thing to me. I wonder if that has a chance to petrify or a chance to kill. Either way, I don't want it. Actually, I would much rather it kill me than petrify me because I have a life spell, I do not have a soft spell. Goodness, goodness, goodness. And my eyes are up here. Oh, it got me. No, it didn't. It just has multiple attacks with gaze, I guess. See, 800 XP, that's not bad. Pinky gained a level. And here's the floater. Or the levy stone. Levy stone's kind of a bit much. Here we go. Whoa! They actually might get a few they might actually paralyze a few of me. But I don't think they're gonna kill me outright, even if they all attack Inky. Wow. Not a single one paralyzed me on contact. This was not their lucky day. Alright. Hey, and there's a level for Clyde. That was a good level. Okay. Let's heal everybody up. Because we may encounter Silver's Revenge at any time. Are we gonna get out? We are not getting out. Nullfrost, run, run, run. Just 2 is probably manageable, but if I can get away on this turn, I'll take it. That is not their strongest area of effect ice attack, by the way. But with luck, we're not going to see it. Too bad. So sad. Alright, that could have been a lot worse. That could have been a lot worse. Alright, anytime you want to die now. Thank you for your compliance. Oh my goodness, we need to heal in a major way. Alright, now that we're back on floor 1, we are not at risk of encountering any more wolves, I believe. This is so much worse. I have never successfully run from these jerks. Oh my god, all I had to do was rush to the stairs next to the room I went in the first time I came here. And that was it. We'd have done it the first time. But 7 Pisco Demons? I don't know, man. Come on, Inky. Ah, Pinky with the clutch cure. Oh, he would have survived with 1 hit point. Wow, I didn't even need that Curaga. Alright, so let's look here through all of the tropes. So I got through this without getting wiped out by a max band of winter wolves. I got through this without being insta-deathed by the evil eye or the sorcerers or the mind flayers. Like, the Cave of Runkill should have destroyed me. Utterly. I mean, it still has a chance to do so, but the odds are looking mighty slim now. And you need one more blink because of that Curaga. Yeah, I'm surprised that none of them... Like, Inky was going to be down to 1 hit point. And none of them have hit him since. I'm finding 6 of them, actually. Alright, well, we got some time for donations. I used that joke too many times. I think I like it too much. Oh well. So, how's everybody doing? You know, has everybody had a good week? You know, you getting that nice fall weather? Are the leaves changing? Did Trick or Treat get canceled in your neck of the woods? Kind of in the odd situation that the places that do trunk or treat are actually perhaps in greater danger than traditional trick-or-treating. Oh, they're allowing trick-or-treating in Philly. Yeah, that's true. I suppose it's not always the safest thing, even without a pandemic. But hey, I mean, trick-or-treating's not too bad an activity, right? Everybody's wearing a mask anyway. I kind of have issues with the word mask being used for things that cover your eyes exclusively, and also things that cover your mouth exclusively. There seems to be room for confusion there. Oh, Spectres, this is your last gasp to stop me from leaving here. Weak sauce. Alright, and a level for Inky, so everybody's up to 22. We're gonna hit that sleeping bag and a save. I can't believe we did that on the first attempt. I can't believe we did that without save scumming. I can't believe a lot of things. Ooh, a nacho. Oh, don't think we're gonna do much here. Alright, Blinky, overachiever. Yep. Alright, so I don't get it at all, but I'll take it. That's the cave from earlier, in case you were wondering. Whoa! See, this is when you should have used your no fleas when I was going down the rivers. No, there shall be no hailing of Hydra here. I mean, even the Joker has standards. Ooh. Ambushed by the Sahagins. I do not fancy a shag, no. Hydrate! I'm on a boat! Like, is this not hydrated enough? Hail, hydrate! I mean, it's a cocktail, so I don't really know how much it's actually hydrating me. Oh, hey! We just kicked your big brother's ass. And another cutscene they added for the PSP version, right here. In the Ryukon Desert. They do gaze, but it's not as effective. Now, what would have been cooler is if the Levy Stone didn't lift the airship, and then the airship flew under its own power. The Levy Stone is something you used to make your actual sailing, your pirate ship, fly directly. We have an airship. Well, first things first. We're going to the cheapest, dirtiest inn in the entire game. Because why spend money when I don't have to? And I believe Even with all of those, all that gear we pulled out of the ice cave, I don't think any of it casts spells. No, we can't sleep on the airship because Death Gaze might sneak up on us. Alrighty. So let's take a look here. Yeah, no. No, these are just things that hurt and protect. So let's hit a store and dump all these. Alrighty. I have 2 gold needles, so I could have taken a couple of... Oh yeah, another thing that did not happen in that dungeon was getting stoned by the cockatrice. Grab an extra 2 of those. I'll grab some Phoenix Downs while we're here. Okay. So now there's a whole bunch of other things we can do instead of proceeding as the narrative intended. It is possible, actually, to do any dungeon next, as far as story dungeons go. Let's see here. What to do, what to do. Well, I guess the first thing we should do is go endlessly across the water. Alright, so that's the desert. Is that... Alright, that's the caravan desert. I wonder if this still works. Can I land on the caravan? I cannot. I'll have to land at the edge of the desert. Well, let's hope nothing terrible happens to me. I don't think this is going to work out in my favor. Alright, Oasis me. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Alright, well if I don't flee for them, I'll try beating them up. Alright, another level up. I'll buy a fairy bottle. Just one. Alright, and I see the vote is for Sabin next. And yeah, we'll do that. But first, we're going to Whew, that could have been bad. We might die here. But we shall live. We're gonna open up a few things first. And also rob the dragon's blind. Ah, hey, I found the one that didn't have any items. That's great. Alright, fine. Oh, no. Okay, so that's the Fiend of Fire's bonus dungeon there. So we found 3 of them so far. Ooh, an elixir. Also not in the original game. I'm really hoping to pick up an item that casts a spell before we go into the Castle of Ordeals, but I don't think that's going to be an option. I do believe there's one we can get there, though. Just money. Worthless stinking money. X potion. Also new. Yeah, that was that. Okay. So this one, those 2... I think this one is where Bahamut is. Nope. Good. Can't do much with Bahamut yet. Dry Ether, Gold Needle. Yeah, I could have sworn I could pick up some... Well, there's some Zeus gauntlets in the Castle of Ordeals proper, but... Alright, let's make sure... One, two. Yeah, no, I did all of them. Alright, we don't want to take the long way here. But we do have to stop off at Gaia first before we do Ordeals. Where are you, Gaia? I know you're around here somewhere. Release the fairy! Alright, I don't believe I can buy any magic yet. I'll check the weapon and armor shops while I'm here, though. I can buy ruby armlets for everybody. And protect rings. Ooh. Better hammers? Nope, just the cat claws. Okay. First, the protect rings. I'm going to find some, but I don't care. And I'll buy 1 ruby armlet, because that's all I can afford. But it'll be fine. Because the Protect Wing also adds a fair amount to my magic defense. Whoops, didn't want to leave just yet. Can I get there from here? No. Okay, so the next question I have for our intrepid adventurers. Oh, we can get high potions, we can get ethers. It's all good to know. So now, in addition to going for the class change, this makes the underwater area... Oh, sorry, I should be narrating here. I'm sorry about running away, but I was just so scared. I'll get you some oxyl from the bottom of the spring to make up for it, okay? So this opens up the water dungeon. Yeah, my survivability went up considerably thanks to hitting that all that gill. Air will flow out of that water for as long as you have it. I think they could have rewritten that one, but... Okay. And we could also do a mermaid run right now, which is go into the water temple, but then immediately go upstairs to the enemy-less floor that has a ton of treasure on it, including the slab, which will allow us to go to the Sky Dungeon, and then the whole game will be open for us. But I know you guys want to see some crazy white wizard action, so we'll give it a shot. Alright, let's not be a cheapskate here. We'll head up this end, and then we'll take the boat to Ordeals. And I keep saying this, but it's true. Once we get caster equipment, the game will start getting a little broken. But that's what we're looking for. Alright, meant to save. It's only 8:50, maybe we'll end this on the class change. Alright, Buccaneers. I haven't watched this week's urinating tree video, so I don't know how they're doing. But I will say that, you know, the strategy of signing Tom Brady to bring a championship to Tampa Bay worked in exactly that order. The Sharks are not getting their chance tonight. See, there's the gaze from the... It's not very good. I think it has a low probability to paralyze. Oh, whoops, I'm a little too far south. get jumped, and it's... ambushed! Oh god. CW brought his whole family. It didn't hurt me that much, but you know what? I just want to get on with it. This is probably not going to work nearly so well. Alright, hit that sleeping bag. And we are going to attack Swamp Castle. They say it is built upon the ruins of 3 other castles.
You come bearing the crown, I see. Your fortitude cannot be questioned, indeed not. Let us now proceed to question it. Very well, I shall grant you the right to undergo the trials. Go now. Sit upon the throne. Your courage will be put to the test, which is different from fortitude. It's courage. If true courage dwells within you, you may find proof of it here.
And I must say, it does take an awful lot of courage to sport a rat tail. Oh, I've done the randomizer so much, I can actually take the proper path through here. Well, not so much, just so recently. Oh, mummies. Lots of mummies. This'll be fine. These don't cause mummy rot. They can inflict sleep upon me with a physical attack, though. This is definitely a fight I can take, though. The king has left the building. Good XP. Come on! Oh, Minotaur zombie. You know what that means. Yeah, we're not going to be so lucky when we go into any other dungeon. This is the last time there's a major undead presence. And another level up. Alright, it's this one. No, it's not that one. Down. Near. Alright, I'm gonna get jumped. And it's going to be the Medusas, right? No, it's a clay golem. This is a blink battle, I do believe. Yep, that's definitely a blink battle. I remember one of the reasons why this was such a good option before is because the boss of it is undead. I think the only other undead boss in the game other than Vampire and Lich. Alright. Double blink is enough at this level, I think. Oh, I probably should have just gone for it then. Gauntlets. That's a caster item, I think. Yes! I now have access to thunder magic at will. Bah ha ha ha! Not that one, not that one, this one. Alright, I'm going to get jumped as soon as I enter here. It's going to be... Well, I'm going to have a regular encounter first. The mummy returns. No Scorpion King, though. Actually, alright, so I've got an issue with King Mummy. Like, shouldn't it be a pharaoh if it's a mummy? Ooh, level up on Clyde. Alright. We'll just heal up a bit. We're gonna fight some unicorns on the other side of this door. And we're gonna fight it twice because we're going for that chest. Ah, the nightmare. So this should be a blink. Maybe. Oh, that's not so bad. Alright, I guess I'll just pummel them. Yep, gearing up first was definitely a good idea. I mean, there's never going to be anything better than a pro ring in that particular slot. Oh, well. You know what? Isn't it nice how much higher my damage potential is now? Alright, so I wonder if all of them can use it? Nope. Okay. Not that broken, but broken enough. That's okay, they'll be here for a rematch. And the healing staff, our next caster item. With it, I shall slowly become immortal. Alright, so let's see, we'll do a gauntlet. I'm gonna rearrange my inventory after this battle. Alright, taking slightly more damage without that first blink. And we get 2 healing helmets later in the game. Yeah, and we're also going to set Cursor to memory. Hey, come on. Stop beating up the healer. All of them. Didn't have limited uses in the original game. Configuration, memory, items, healing staff, gauntlets. And away we go. Ooh. You know, for as little damage as they're doing compared to the, maybe I should just have them defended until they get casting items of their own. Because, yeah, like, 2 damage, they're not doing anything. Alright, so we'll actually be smart about this. We'll have the people in the front 2 rows defend, since they're going to take the most hits. And we'll have the back 2 use the items. Yeah, wasn't worth it to set it to memory before, but now we're on our way, and also slowed. Alright, well, back to the other strategy for this one, actually. Yes, we'll be much more reliable in our ability to not run from fights. Of course. Now, up to this point in the game, banning... Hey, level up! Up to this point in the game, banning item was not something that you'd get a lot of bang for your buck for. Hey, new ruby armlet. But now, it's worth it. Whoa! Yeah, ruby armlet plus defend is really keeping them strong. Let's see how good the gauntlets are against these guys. Because if they're strong against thunder, this will be a terrible strategy. Yes, I agree. Horny devils often are incapable of achieving their goals. They kind of get in their own way. Alright, level up for Blinky. One of the chests down here is empty, I believe. But, with the enhanced graphics, we see which one it is in advance. We are not hanging in this fight. We are getting away. Oh wait, I mean, I'm not immune to death spells. I'm just slightly more resistant to them. Ta-da! A rat's tail. And now, the boss fight. Which we will not be using the new broken strategy for. And that's because the old broken strategy works just fine here. But I also think this is a runnable fight, but... we're just gonna kill him. Yeah, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. Hey, 2 level ups. Oh, you're only giving me one dragon zombie this time? What a ripoff. It's catching on to me. This is the key grind point for white mage parties. Hydrate! Very well. And that's the lot. I got a mega elixir. Holy crap, they dropped mega elixirs. That made this grind even better. That mega elixir is going to be... That mega elixir is going to really, really, really help us out in the final dungeon. Having a portable tent? Mwah! Yeah, adding the standard items to this game is probably the thing that broke the original challenge curve the most. I did not know that mega elixirs could drop from that fight. And yes, we are going to be here until I burn out of my NP. I would say that was a rare drop. But putting it on a repeatable encounter square is very foolish on their part. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that drop before. So, which means I'm probably not getting another... Oh no! A real random encounter! What are you doing to me? You are not... Luckily, I avoided getting turned into stone by the Medusas. Oh wait, that you... No, no, don't flee. I gotta set this up again. There we go. Well, we'll probably have killed 100 of them by the time we're done. If it drops me multiple mega elixirs, I could pop one to recharge my NP and just do this forever. But now this will be good. We'll be a bunch of level 30 white wizards. And that's important because we need to level up to access level 7 and 8 magic. Let's see here. No, we can't use 6. We can't use 6 either at level 24. Or is it just grayed out because I don't know any? I think I remember it ungraying out at earlier levels. Of course, the other broken thing we can do is we can go get the Bane sword from... Oh, you're done, huh? Alright, well, you can do that now instead. Inky's getting a little low. Yep, morale is a factor in this game. 9 players can run from me. In fact, if you use the fear... I don't know if it works in the remake anymore, but in the original, you could just keep casting fear on the final boss until he just quits. We'll have some extra gil doing this as well to make up for everything I spent, because... frankly, Like, getting access to all of the White Wizard magic and then not being able to buy any of it. Yeah, kinda a problem. Alright, another level for Inky. I don't think my party will be 30 by the time we're done this, but they'll be pretty well off. If I remember right, I need to be 30 to have access to all the magic. Oh, you're done. Alright, give him a Diora. Maybe that'll be enough. Maybe 2 Diagas was overkill. Maybe I could have killed you with 2 Dioras. That's a no. Alright. Alright, time to get out of here. But first, let's see how well we did overall. Alright, everybody's 26 except for Clyde and Pinky. Alright, 26 gives us level 6 magic. And did we pick up any extra Mega Elixirs? Nope, just the one. Alright, we're gonna hoard that. If they gave me 2, like if I weren't on stream and they gave me 2, I totally would have popped the second one and kept killing. Not just to gain extra levels, but also for the chances at more Mega Elixirs. You guys think you can do anything at all to me now. Especially since I have the gauntlets. Hey, Pinky got to 26. And they gave me a potion, that was nice. Alright, and we're all done with the ship for the rest of the game. Oh, there's the Scorpion King. Hiding on my airship. Dick move. Alrighty, well let's go recharge. Alright, now off to Bahamut. Bahamut? Am I even saying it right? Alright, wasn't that one? Crap, which one was he? He's one of these two because we haven't been in them yet. Do you have treasure in this one? Or are you just all talking dragons that I'm just going to shun? Because I'm speciesist. Speciesist. There's a word for it, I'm sure. I'm dragon phobic. But I am more than happy to extort their god for things I want. Long has it been since men of courage stood before me. Your bravery would seem worthy of consideration. The rat's tail you carry is a fitting token of courage and strength. So be it. I shall honor you with titles befitting your valor. I think you got to go for a Shenron voice for Bahamut in this game at least. Yes, Magnus. You're a wizard, Clyde. Clyde Potter. Okay, so we have wizards. Didn't really spend much on the level 4 magic, but I didn't really need to. 5, so let's go check out our level 6 magic. Which I believe is going to be Crescent Lake and Gaia. Bahamut. I see, it's a moot point. Oh, first let's ditch the equipment that doesn't cast magic. So that's going to be silver armlet, leather gloves, ice shield. There we go. Alright, well we can learn Stona. Except for the slacker who's not level 26 yet. We can learn Exit. We can learn Protera, and we can learn Invisora. I'm not going to waste my money on Invisora, though, because we're going to get the white shirt later, which casts Invisora. Alright, well, first things first. Everybody... You're going to get Stona. You're going to get Exit. You're going to get Protera. Actually, let's give everybody Protera. Then we'll give everybody Stona. And I'm out of money. But that's okay. We'll be making more money soon. Ta-da! We have it, and we're kind of halfway through the game now. Okay. So instead of asking you which party this time, the next decision upon us. We can, I mean, a couple of these will be a little chainy, specifically the Sky Palace, because we'll have to go to the waterfall first, and then we have to go get the slab. in the water temple, and then we have to go to learn Luftanish and go to Luftina and get whatever MacGuffin is there to get into the desert tower. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is we got our 3 main dungeons left: fire, water, air. We could do Loke, but we can do any of them. If you want to try to challenge me, you could try sending me to the air first, which is either going to be very hard or very easy, because there's a particular item I can get along that path that, it's RNG heavy, but it could help out a lot. If it feels like it. Or the story intended path is to do the fire dungeon. And finally, the water dungeon is also an option, and it's going to be the easiest way to get lots of treasure really fast. But we might get all of the treasure anyway. Yes, from our original split up, Locke's quest was fire. But what do people want to do? Fire, water, air. Okay, Dio's got fire. If you're going to vote for fire, you need to use an exclamation point before the word.
He's on fire!
Thank you. Okay, everybody wants me to go to the volcano. It seems like. And who am I to judge? I am a slave to the adoring fans. Alright, we will give the fire dungeon Mount Garg, the volcano, and home of, I believe, Marlith, the Fiend of Fire. But first, let's get attacked immediately. Oh, it's those horned devils. Yeah, you're not gonna have this, guys. Now, the only disadvantage to doing the volcano is I believe we're not going to get any new casting items. So you're going to see a lot of this for a while. But getting the healing staff before going into the volcano is kind of nice, because we don't have to do a lot of healing up after all of those damage tiles. And God, why must you do this to me? Random encounters. Yeah, I expect you guys to really bring the NBA Jam stuff for the Fiend of Fire fight. And by the by, I'm going to do a little something for you all. I am going to make sure that we can have our fun. But incidentally, somebody type all into the chat. I want to make sure that that works. I'm sorry, you might have been a little quick on the draw, Dio. Try it again. Okay. So I believe that we've got our NBA Jam sounds on 0 cooldown now. So, you know, if you guys wanted to practice spamming some of them, you know, go right ahead. You want to
Rejected!
odd first choice. Alright, now before a minute passes, do a different one, Dio. Alright, a different person do one. I guess me putting in zeros for the cooldown just doesn't matter. Alright, so in a minute, Dio, do... Yep, do boom. And then Magnus try doing boom. Like immediately after. Ooh, a red fang. Is that a single-use cast item? Hello, Fire Elemental. You're not going to be anywhere near as annoying since I didn't go here directly. No, you're on a good cooldown there, Dio. That was way more than a minute. Yep. We're in the awkward situation in which we've got two white mages working as tanks. Mithril Helm, we can sell that.
Boom shakalaka!
Alright, Magnus, boom. Alright, Goblin, boom. Somebody boom. Before a minute has passed. They just didn't want me to say that they were lowering the boom. But it's really low now. Alright, let's see how many times I can watch that before I get a seizure. Yeah, you blink. See how good it does you with the gauntlets. Ah, ha, 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 ha. This is going to be great. I'm going to get to Marlith with full HP. Well, full MP is what I meant to say, but that too. Oh, I missed one. I'll go back for it when I'm done this side of the room. Definitely got to get my gil here so I can keep buying magic. Because I'll be needing level 7 by the time I am through the... well, if not through this one, then the next one for sure. Nope, nothing up there. Good, good. Now, if you thought it was monotonous before... You see, now, it's still monotonous, but we've also taken all the drama out of it. Because we are way OP for this dungeon, because we went and did the next two first. Hey, Grover, come on. Wake up and entertain our guests. Alright, fine. Oh hey, those guys drop a tent. Interesting. Just think I could be doing this without the healing staff or the gauntlets or the class change. But you guys just had to meme and send me to the ice cave. Oh yeah. Water would be pretty good in this dungeon. Unfortunately, I'm out of hydration myself. Oh, did I get my final... yes, everyone can use level 6 magic now. Mithril Helm, Mithril Gloves, High Potion, Tent. Gill. Forced Encounter. These would normally be kinda dangerous, and also a good grind spot for a lot of parties. Wonder if it still gives decent XP, because we might do it anyway. I mean, decent, but not anywhere as good as the dragon zombies. Ah, so what's your brand of water, Dio? And we know this is not a sponsorship message because it's Dio's water instead of mine. Dasani. Mithril Axe, Mithril Shield, a lot of Mithril here. I keep forgetting. Is Dasani the one put out by Coke and Aquafina the one put out by Pepsi, or is it the other way around? I only ask because I've run out of things to talk about for the game at this point. Look, I'd cast ice if I could, Magnus. But you guys wanted me to go here before I could get an ice casting item. We would have had to have done the Sky Dungeon first for that. It's true, I do predict toast. So Magnus, I understand that you've been streaming a blind run-through of BioShock. How has that been going for you so far? Isn't white ice just snow? Yep, so how far... So, well, crashes aside, how far are you in it now? What was the... Spoiler alert, what was the last thing that happened before the crash? So I've, unlike your Mario RPG run, I actually have played BioShock before. And it's definitely a game that takes a lot of twists and turns. I've played BioShock in BioShock Infinity, but I haven't played BioShock 2 yet, for some reason. I just kind of got distracted and skipped to the end there. I guess it was kind of similar to my experience with the Dragon Quest games. Like, I was trying to play them all in order, and I had gotten the first 3 done okay. And then Dragon Quest IX came out, and I, like, went, ooh, shiny new thing, and went straight to the end. And I actually haven't, And I was like, okay, I'm going to play 4 now, and then the remake of 7 landed, and I'm like, ooh, shiny new thing. So I'm in the middle of 7 now. Haven't touched it for a while, I've got to get back to that. Oh, you got to, Yep, you got to the part that recontextualizes the game. That's a really great moment if it wasn't spoiled for you ahead of time. Yep, Infinite apparently was very divisive. I didn't really have any issues with it myself. I mean, one of the things I just love about the BioShock games is just, like, the total commitment to the setting. Because they make the setting interesting. And you know what I really, really want them to do is to make a ripoff of Animal Crossing, but instead of building a town, you're building one of those future dystopias. Do a BioShock crossing. Oh, excellent. Well, would you kindly enjoy the rest of the game good and proper? And honestly, my, like, proposed BioShock game should use the art style of... Oh, Greatsword. I hear that's pretty good. Yep. Yeah, the only thing I really didn't like about BioShock is... Well, we'll find out which ending you get. But, like, the criteria for which ending you get is, like, total bullshit. This stream is now rated R. Yeah, going back to Dio's question there. Yeah, like, I mean, just because I played Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger does not mean it logically follows that I played Super Mario RPG. And the reason why that is because, you know, I never really caught up to a lot of these on emulators. I did do Final Fantasy, like Super Nintendo Final Fantasy 2, so 4, on an emulator. But, not really if you're a cop. If you're a cop, you have to tell me. That's how it works. But, yeah, it was just impossible impossible to get those games at the time, because by the time I had a Super Nintendo, and by the time... Oh, I want to say... Whoops, this way. You know, they're just the only... oh, God. I'm trying to think of the game. The only game that was actually available in retail at that point, and it was still stupidly expensive, was... Oh, what was that Square USA only game that used the Secret of Mana engine? Well, whatever that was like the only like RPG actually available in a store. I played Final Fantasy VI because the local rental place, Reel to Reel Video, actually had it. And I incurred so many late fees, and they did eventually sell it to me. No, not me. Secret of Evermore. Silver, you are the winner. Give yourself a fanfare. Still have never played Mystic Quest. Oh, there's a tech. You guys are talking too much. I can't keep up with you. Sorry, Dio. Dio, give yourself a fanfare. Silver was kind enough not to. We do not have the Secret of Evermore fanfare ready, but yeah, Secret of Evermore was the only game available. And, like, I had heard of, like, other games I wanted more, and I was very disappointed and just never bothered with that. So let's see, so local place at Final Fantasy VI. I rented Secret of Mana from a video store that was near my grandmother's house when I would visit her over the summer. And, yeah, I actually do have a copy of Secret of Evermore now, but I haven't played it yet. And let's see, what else did we get there? I borrowed Chrono Trigger from somebody and beat it. I mean, Magnus, did I borrow Chrono Trigger from you? Yeah, there were actually 2 Toys R Us's in my state, and I lived perhaps equidistantly between them. That was out of the question. Yeah, by the time I went to college near one of them, it was much too late to actually do anything about it. Well, actually, I didn't have to go to college. I needed to go to college and then wait the extra 2 years to have my first car. And I'm spending too much time paying attention to the conversation, so I'm walking around in circles instead of completing the dungeon here. Yeah. Alright, so you sold your copy to Mr. Maybe I borrowed it from Sean then. Who had Chrono Trigger? Yeah, let's see. I was also in the awkward position of borrowing RPGs from Amanda's brother. I mean, that's like name drops and references that only that probably only Magnus would understand. But yeah, I borrowed Illusion of Gaia that way. You know, ActRaiser and Soul Blazer would come much later. Let's see, never played the Lufia games. And let's see what else is. There was Secret of the Stars. Never seen that. Yeah, I had 2 RPGs on the NES that I actually had practically from the beginning. I had the original Final Fantasy. I had the NES port of the Bard's Tale, which is reasonably different from the original PC game. Yep, and I also never got to play the Breath of Fire 1 and 2. My first Breath of Fire was 3 on the PlayStation. Oh, another level up. Gold Needle and Gill. Yeah, I would say that the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1, that was kind of like... That was kind of a really good 1-2 punch of RPG systems. Because what do we have on the PS1? Of course, we had like Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. After, you know, Final Fantasy 7 blew the genre open. More Gil. And then, of course, there was Final Fantasy Tactics, which was amazing. Oh yeah, the Ogre games I never played on Super Nintendo. Though I did play the N64 one, and I loved it. Yeah, you see, PS1 was great because it had a bunch of different RPGs on it, without them being like 500 hours long like they are today. Just unplayable. It's too much game. I mean, that's kind of like why I dug a game like BioShock, because even though it was, you know, just had like, you know, a couple of RPG-like systems to enhance your capabilities in the whole FPS thing, you know, it does the whole thing where, you know, you're playing the story, you're getting stronger, you're going through an interesting world. You know, it itches a lot of the scratches, and it gets it done in like 12 hours or so. Yep, I did eventually. My first copy of Dragon Warrior was the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 cartridge for Game Boy Color, which was, it kind of broke a couple of things. They redid the translation, so, like, you know, it's Lodo instead of Edric. But, which, you know, helped clear things up once I got to the Game Boy Color port of the SNES remake of Dragon Quest III. Yeah. Pardon me. Need to hydrate, but all out. You guys made me drink too much of it earlier. But yeah, the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 cartridge was kind of weird because they unified the engine and spells that had slightly in items and equipment that had slightly different effects in Dragon Quest 2 than it did in Dragon Quest 1. Like the Dragon Quest 2 versions of them won out, so it was kind of a lazy double cartridge. But it was reasonable enough. Like it didn't drastically impact my ability to get through the game. Though it actually did make some sections harder. It's true, Magnus. Dragon Quest will tell you where you need to go. But you gotta be paying very close attention and able to read Old English or fake Hollywood Old English pretty well. But yeah, like that was it. Just I had 2 RPGs on the NES, and I had a lot of fun with them, to be sure. But not nearly as much fun as I would have with the genre later. I didn't really I played Final Fantasy and Bard's Tale on NES because I played D&D. That's where my interest was. And both of them were reasonable facsimiles of D&D to the extent that you could get it on the NES. But the whole story-driven console RPG style didn't jump to me until I just happened to be visiting a friend's house and they were playing Final Fantasy VI, and it just blew my mind. Oh yeah, I bet Final Fantasy IV blew your mind as soon as you got to it, Chris. Yeah. It was going from Dragon Quest 1 to Final Fantasy IV, just the rocket's taken off. Or I guess the whale is taking off. But goodness, yes, the PlayStation was such a wonderful time because not only not only did I get the new Final Fantasies, but that's also how I played Final Fantasy 1, 2, 4, and 5. Well, not for the first time 1, but 2, 4, and 5 were all original experiences. Tactics came, and that's still one of my favorite games of all time. I just wish there was an uncompromised version of the War of the Lions edition on any platform at all whatsoever, because, each one has something wrong with it. It's either missing content or something in it didn't work. Like the original PSP version had the weird slowdown glitch, and also left out the triggers for incantations. Which was, a really nice bit of flavor I enjoyed in the PS1 version. Then, of course, got Breath of Fire 3 and 4. Got the ports of Lunar and Eternal Blue. That was fun. I was very late to the game on Wild Arms, but I'm getting into it now. By now, I mean now. Well, I'm not really getting into anything right now, but in this part of my life. Let's see. I actually did pick up the Arc the Lad collection because I liked tactical RPGs based purely on my experience with tactics. And then, there we go again. And, you know, Working Designs did it, and I loved their work on the Lunar series. To this day, I have not played it. But it's okay, it's on my shelf. Someday, like, maybe after I retire. Oh yes, I was quite concerned based on my inability to get a copy of Final Fantasy VI after I learned it existed. I was very, very, very concerned that if I didn't buy Final Fantasy VII right away, it would just disappear, like all the Super Nintendo RPGs. And I'm like, oh no, I know what's going on now. I'm not gonna miss out. And then they reprinted millions and millions of copies of it. Like, I pre-ordered Final Fantasy VII, I didn't have a PS1 yet. I knew I'd get one eventually. But, you know, I wasn't taking any chances here. And that started, I won't call it a tradition because it hasn't happened every time, but slightly less than a tradition of, like, owning a game for a system before owning the system. I mean, it's true, Final Fantasy VII did become rare, but it took like a decade for that to happen. Like, I could have had it for... it even got in the Greatest Hits collection. Like, I could have had it for $15 if I waited until like a year after I actually owned a PlayStation. Which was... like, I had Final Fantasy VII, you know, when it came out in September. And then... you know, scripted save and, like, with some extra Christmas money that year, bought a PlayStation. Oh, I guess our talk about 16-bit RPGs would not be complete without talking about the Phantasy Star games, actually. I owned Phantasy Star 2 on the Genesis, and I borrowed Phantasy Star 4 from a friend, and Phantasy Star 4 is really good. Top of the class there. I actually did own a copy of Phantasy Star 3, which I found for like $3 in a thrift store. But, oh, is that the only chest on this level? I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, it's past 10 already. There's no caster items in here. If I actually missed something, boo-hoo. This is not necessarily a completionist run. Yeah, I'm kind of really disappointed that, like, Phantasy Star went to Phantasy Star Online and stayed there. Because, like, I've been waiting forever for a proper Phantasy Star 5, and after Sega, you know, acquired Atlas and said, you know, if you want to use any of our franchises, you know, go ahead, go for it. I'm like, ooh. Is this how I get Phantasy Star 5? And a lot of other people said, is this how I get Skies of Acadia 2? Stretch! You're... Silver, really? Like, we're 5 minutes from the end of the stream here. Alright. And up and down and touch the... We're not touching the ground. I am not healthy enough for that just yet. Oh, we're gonna do another quick cat appearance. There's a Snowy hiding. Oh yeah, Atlas was like real super busy announcing, you know, Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Switch and then not making it. And then introducing Joker to Smash Brothers without having Persona 5 on the Switch at all. Which I'm still scratching my head about. Like, Joker is so far the only Smash character ever to not have appeared on a Nintendo console at some point. Yeah, actually, yeah, definitely we should add for the channel points, you know, like, see a cat. Though I suppose we couldn't have that up all the time. So you are the ones who defeated the Fiend of Earth and roused Marlith from her slumber. Not to be confused with the Marlith from, like, you know, Oh My Goddess. She's not a threat whatsoever. This one might, you know, kill me with a 7-hit combo on the first turn. Like, if you had saved up your usage, you know, you could have banned Blink right here and forced a loss. The power of the burning flame is mine and mine alone. Those who would oppose me shall burn in hellfire. Oh yes, and once we're done blinking, somebody throw up a nullifier, please. Hey, see that? 192 damage right off the bat. That wasn't even her hardest hit. You don't have nullifiers, so blink again.
He's heating up!
You don't have nullifiers, so blink again. Alright. Yeah, the null spells don't stack like the blink spells do. Because the blinks is just, it's buffing an actual stat, whereas nullifier is just, you know, adding resist fire. Yeah, imagine if I came here when I was supposed to. I guess we'll just lightning you. Actually, yeah, give me one of those first. And you need an extra blink. Yeah, lightning not very effective against her, but I think that might be stronger than a hit from the hammer. We'll see. Yeah, that is definitely stronger than a hit from the hammer. This one's gonna take a while. This fight might actually have been impossible because, you know, if I'm chipping away at her like 2 HP, like up to 8 hit points at a time, eventually, you know, enough lucky hits are going to get through that I will run out of healing long before I take down this castle wall with a toothpick. Alright, we'll use people who are not blind to attack. And you can have the staff. Yep. You guys accidentally made it easy for me. I suppose you took it easy on yourselves as well. Could you imagine watching this fight? Can you imagine? Yep. So a couple of other factors that are making this game somewhat easier than vanilla Final Fantasy is that the hit point growth curve is augmented from the original. Like, at this level, you'd probably have 100 fewer hit points as a white mage. The other stat growth really isn't changed in any meaningful way. However, the wizard did get a buff in the sense that the intelligence stat actually affects the potency of its magic, which was not the case. Everything did a fixed range of damage before. We've already done Ice Dungeon. Actually, if we voted to do Air at that point, the chain would have started with the Ice Dungeon anyway. But for next week, we'll start with a choice between water and air. Though bear in mind that air will involve a partial dip into water to accomplish. But we'll just be going to raid the Mermaid Treasury. We won't be finishing the water dungeon if air is the vote. So, am I right in assuming you want me to just cast Exit as soon as I'm out of this battle? Because I don't think I'm actually in a position where I can die. We're giving it a real proper battle of attrition here. Because I can't undo the blinks, I can't undo the nullifier. Too late, you used all 3 of your bands. Blame yourself. Yeah. Don't blame me for your inefficiency. Blame yourself for God. But still, we covered a surprisingly large amount of ground. Like, I would not be surprised if part 4... I mean, we might knock out 2 fiends on part 4 as well. Or part 4, or the entirety of part 4 will be one of the fiend boss fights because we can barely damage them. I'll tell you what, if we get... I don't have any water left, but if somebody, like... If we get 4 hydrates before the end of the fight, we will ban the use of exit. I mean, you better hurry. You only have, like, another hour before this is over. Alright, that's 1 hydrate. Can we get 3 more? That's 2. Three. We need 1 more, and exit will be banned. You're not done. I see 3. I asked for 4. Okay, exit is banned, and this ban will last until the end of the stream, just in case the fight isn't over in 5 minutes. I guess we're keeping a reasonable time frame. Yeah, that's the white mage experience right there, guys. Alright, and we got an extra level out of it. And the second bonus dungeon is open. Yep, so I definitely think we only have 2 more sessions of this left, but we might actually delve into a bonus dungeon to provide a full stream if things are still speeding along. Because if we're at a point where only the final dungeon is left, that's probably not going to be enough for a full stream, even if I die a couple of times. Alright, well, can't use exit. What am I going to do? I guess that. Alright, everybody, so for next time, be thinking about whether we're going air or water first. Hey, you guys liked that, huh? Should have seen it coming. Anyway, my name is Drew, and I stream for Damage Control. I am not the only person who streams for Damage Control. If you tune in tomorrow, you can see Silver, who is, I believe, might be wrapping up Doki Doki Literature Club, which was localized in the U.S. as, Super Mario Brothers 2. Yes, my name's Drew, and I didn't get another potion, so I guess I'm not an alcoholic, but, you know, there are aspirations in life, I suppose. Anyway, so, if you like us, if you want to chat us up even more, we do have a Discord where plenty of the blog readers and also people from the stream congregate and crack wise about goings-on in gaming and anime news and other various things. It's a good time. Like, somebody... Come on, I said the Discord. You guys are asleep at the switch here. Yep. And Magnus, who has been joining us today, he also runs a stream all through the week. And so be sure to check that out as well. Like, unofficially, we are a full 7-day operation between the two channels, which are otherwise unaffiliated. We just know each other. But Magnus does occasionally help me out with some of my content for Damage Control. So, as always, thank you, Magnus. Now, be sure... Now, you might be watching this on our YouTube, but if not... we do have a YouTube channel where we keep a permanent record of VODs that may or may not have had the audio stripped out by the algorithm. And they've done terrible things to my Tony Hawk video, I'm sure. And if you're interested in hearing about when we start doing streams again, I usually, but not always, stream on Saturdays, and Silver almost always streams on Sundays. We'll actually be switching days later this month, but you'll hear about that in advance if you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Mastodon and get those messages to you. And heck, even follow us if you like here on Twitch, because you'll get the messages that way too. You know, knowing is half the battle. As always, thank you ever so much for joining us, even if you're just lurking. And a big thank you to Goblin and Silver for the bits, and thanks again to Magnus for showing off that second month subscription. You know, these are, you know, never... I keep ripping off Queen Pib by saying this, but it's such a good slogan, you know? These are never required, but always appreciated. We'll get something original to express some gratitude, and just how optional it is, and how awesome you know everyone is who has donated to the channel, which is absolutely positively helping keeping the server running for the website. But anyways, this has droned on long enough. So have a good night, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.